Taika It's a shame. It's way too bad about Love and Thunder. It could have been awesome.
Yeah.
I was actually just thinking about that yesterday. Well, I'm sure we'll get to it. With him potentially taking on a fifth Thor movie.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a little bit.
Oh my god, I've been trying to avoid this like the plague.
Yeah.
Where did Kevin? Well, here, so yeah, exactly. So Kevin Davis said sleeper box office hits The Exorcist, the creator, but also Next Goal Wins, and I believe Next Goal Wins is the Taika movie, right?
I believe so.
Mhm.
Yeah, quick, it is. Taika's a good director. The problem is, I don't think he didn't. He's a good director when he's able to do his own thing with his own ideas and stuff like this. Thor needs to play in a sandbox with everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to be pulled back,
Yeah.
And no one pulled him back, whether it be Chapek screwed everything up and Feige was having issues with that, this and that. I don't know what was going on, but
you know what? I think Taika got a lot of creative freedom, and I think and you have to remember, Taika was coming off was like in the midst of a career high at that point. He had Ragnarok, he had Jojo Rabbit, with Love and Thunder, I think he was probably feeling himself a little too much.
Way too much.
And they just kind of let him kind of go like full off the rails. Even in interviews like Chris Hemsworth, I'm sure you guys have seen, he kind of admitted the movie could have been better than it was, and he felt like they had more fun making it than audiences did watching it. But I think
because I think I remember talking about it, and we ran in the movie theater and we went and all saw it together.
Yeah,
and I kept on saying, I want to see the story of Thor Odinson. I want to see Odin's son. I want to see him become this all-powerful being. And have to fight something else that's on his level. And they had those thoughts, and they're like, let's just throw that all away.
Yeah,
let's just make it a full, funny
goofy.
Yeah.
Like,
no, this dude is supposed to become the All-Father. Like, he's supposed to be it. Like, Thor is on that level of like, hey, oh my god.
Yeah.
But he should be on that level of where Superman is. Like, it should be that type of level. That's how powerful of character he really is.
Yeah.
And we've never seen that. We've never got that. And I think that we need some of that. And I thought if you take that serious type of this tone with Taika, that's a good mesh. But if you go all goofball, sometimes that messes up stuff.
Yeah, it just went too goofy, and with the screaming goats, and all, like, just Thor just basically being a big buffoon. It's a shame because the storyline that they went with, it could have been awesome. Like it could, hell, you had Christian Bale, you had the great Christian Bale too.
Dude,
like there was so much
the God Butcher, and then Butcher not one God.
Except
one.
the one that he killed in self-defense.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, how awesome would it have been if he showed up at that meeting of the gods with Zeus and everyone and just took them out? That would have been cool.
Mm-hmm. And for me, that meeting could have been right when Korg died. Whatever. That could have been the tone change. It was like, oh shit, and then things could have got serious. The cancer's getting worse with Jane. Everything's getting fucked up. Like, one of your best friends just died. That could have been the moment that all right, now we're going serious. Now we're like, oh shit, it's real. And then bringing Korg come in, and he's just like, just going crazy and just like, wiping everyone's heads off with the crazy blade. So.
Yeah,
I honestly thought he was gonna come in and kill one of those eternal things, those big bots. What are those things called? What became
like
what's
celestial kind of thing?
The celestial,
out the window.
He came in and just sliced one of them and came in and just killed all these people and made this huge fest right then, that would have changed the whole movie and everything would have been so cool.
Yeah.
Like this Thor Love and Thunder had potential, but like Brandon, you said, they decided to go full Taika. But
Yeah.
Go ahead. What you guys say?
There were cheaper ways to make a Guns N' Roses music video. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah, go on YouTube.
But it's funny because you're bringing all this stuff with Thor 5. I mean,
yeah. So real quick, here's some possible names from Tony. Thor 5, stand up at New Asgard. And then he said, Thor 5, I'm the weapon. I am the weapon.
I am the weapon.
Yeah. Didn't he have one more? Yeah, I think he said one. But yeah, so Thor 5, nothing's confirmed yet, and I think it's just people talking because right now no one's writing anything. No one can make any deals, right? Because with the strike, and this came out in the middle of the strike, so I don't know if I fully believe it. But Mama Bear did say something interesting that Chris Hemsworth said he didn't want to do jokey Thor anymore.
Yep,
I don't think
exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if that's exactly what he said. I know he said he doesn't want to be too jokey.
No, he said I don't want to do it if it's not going. He only wants to do it if it's going to be a little bit more dark.
Yeah.
He wants to do a darker movie.
Those Thor sucked.
No, but you know what?
Serious Thor sucked. It wasn't good until Taika came in and
it doesn't have to be. Funny. It has to be a serious line with some jokes. You can't just go full jokey.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And that was the issue.
Yeah, Ragnarok had a little more balance to it. If he could bring that balance back, I'd be willing to keep an open mind about it. Because Waititi simultaneously made my favorite Thor movie, Ragnarok, and then probably my least favorite one, Love and Thunder. But
I wouldn't want to do. I actually don't want him to do it.
I don't. To be honest,
I want them to go back. Go a different direction.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't want him to come back to direct either. And if he does come back to write it, I think someone else comes back to direct it. I'm sorry. If he does come back to direct it, someone else needs to write the movie. I think.
I'm with Mama Bears right now, but she said, he's Star Wars' problem now. No more, no takey backsies.
See, but also Taika, in my opinion, everything he's made besides Love and Thunder is pretty damn good.
It really is.
Because because he doesn't have to follow any script. Once he has to follow a certain thing, once he has to follow something else, then that's what his problem is.
Yeah. Like Jojo Rabbit, obviously great. What We Do in the Shadows, amazing.
I love What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah. Our Flag Means Death. Hunt for the Wilder People. Boy. The episodes of Mandalorian he directed, I thought were great. So
me too. Jojo Rabbit was good.
Yeah, Jojo Rabbit was amazing. So he is a good one, except he went way too much with this one. So I pulled up some of the quotes from Hemsworth.
Chris,
So he said, excuse me. He goes, I think we just had too much fun. It just became too silly, Hemsworth told GQ last month. It's always hard being in the center of it and having any real perspective. I love the process, but it's always a ride, but just don't know how people are going to respond. Then he said some of his biggest critics were his son's friends. And he said, there's a bunch of 8-year-olds critiquing my films. We thought this one had too much humor. The action was cool, but the VFX weren't as good, he said. I cringed and laughed equally at it. When the 8-year-old said it. Where was it? He did say something along the lines, I don't want to continue to do it until people are so exhausted that they roll their eyes when they see me come on screen as that character. He goes, if the audience wants to see it, and if there's something that we believe is exciting and fun, then great. We love being able to reinvent the character a few times. I don't have the answers yet, but I would love to try and figure out how we can do that again and keep it a little bit more unpredictable. He did say too much fun. It was too silly. So which is, I mean, he has to really look at his character now. Is it too much? is it too silly? And he's came out and said, he goes, it needs to be a little bit more let silly.
Yeah,
Which I agree.
Yeah, just gotta dial it back. And this was kind of the wrong Love and Thunder, not to keep picking on the movie, but there was so much the thing that I look at is like there was a lot of kind of potential for a lot of pretty good emotional content. We had Jane's storyline with the cancer. We had
Valkyrie.
yeah, Gore presented a very good he could have been a very good foil to Thor, and it could have been pretty instrumental in his arc, like kind of with Thor potentially asking himself, as a god himself, I'm not sure how to word it, but it did kind of it did present a potential good moral dilemma for Thor.
And he kind of squandered it, just like
he screaming goats were more important to Taika, unfortunately. Heck, they're gonna.
I didn't hate the screaming goats.
I love the screaming goats. I agree. They did it one too many times.
Yeah. I thought
but that's Taika's comedy. He takes it like to the limit and more.
I thought the first time they were pretty funny. They after like a second and third watch, they started kind of wearing thin for me. But when they first showed up, they were kind of funny. But they just kept doing it. They just kept running the joke into the ground.
I mean, that's how much I love the screaming goats. Like I bought a fucking toy from Target that is literally a screaming goat. I irritate everybody with it. Yeah, but no, it is in a movie. You're like, okay, you need to like chill. Like it's getting a little too much. But again, that's Taika, his comedy. He takes things to the edge, and he goes, and we're going past that. And you're like, all right, it was funny the first 3 times. The second 30 times, it wasn't that funny. Like by the time we get to the 10th time, you're like, I get it. I don't like it anymore.
Exactly.
It's a fine line. It's a fine line of what's it called? I forgot what it's called. There's like it's called something in comedy where like you go to the line, but then you exaggerate so much where it's like kind of funny again. But in movies, it's different than being like on
that
stage.
doesn't work in superhero
know.
movies.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't work in a lot of movies, honestly. You got to be careful on stuff like that. So Tony said certain directors work better than they do their own thing in IPs, which
exactly
definitely Taika.
It's Taika.
I don't even like Jane. Even Jane, they could have done so much better with Jane. That was a serious point that that was the only time Thor was actually really serious, is when he was like worried about Jane and cancer and stuff. But that was like what, a couple seconds, a minute, kind of sucked.
They lost me with hey, what's up, L? How's it going?
Hey, L.
They lost me with the whole, the Gore thing lost me. You need to have a great villain. And you know what made Love and Thunder and that made Ragnarok so good? Hela was kicking everyone's ass. That's what it was. Literally. Thor was getting his butt whooped. Like literally lost his eye, like knocked it out of his face. Like she was killing everybody. The entire all of Asgard was dying because she was killing them. You need a villain that's just going to kill you all, kill everyone. Because Thor is a god. He is he's epically strong. He's not just thunder and lightning. He's everything. He could have killed Thanos by himself. He's the only Avenger that could have done it. Like we're never giving him the proper respect what he really deserves. And I want a villain that's going to terrorize everybody. I want Thor to understand who he's supposed to be and have to live up to his father's legacy. And then we got some fun parts of it. We could have some other Avengers in it, but I want him to have to stand up and learn to really be the king that he's never been. So I would love to see that type of movie.
Man, it's so disappointing because there was so much potential for the character, for Gore. And I can't stress this enough. You had Christian Bale.
Yeah.
You had Christian Bale in the
And
MC.
he wasn't
like,
whispering, man. He wasn't
Yeah.
whispering. He was like,
you
A little
know,
bit. He kind of was
"I am
sometimes.
vengeance."
Yeah.
oh man, like just what a wasted opportunity. Gore could have been so good. Just could have been such an awesome villain, like up there with Hela. There was enough
Mhm.
But they
potential
had to
with the
make him
character.
that. But they had to
Oh,
make him that.
Yeah.
And that was the problem. They didn't give him the opportunity to make him that.
mhm.
Like Gore should start a daycare center because he can watch the hell out of some kids. Exactly. Yeah. And then Anzo a bigger Ford that I hate them
I
damn
hated
goats.
the damn goats.
They're great, man.
It got like I said, it got old fast for me. Just the screaming goats. Like first time I had fun with it, and then after that I'm like, yeah, yeah.
I think it's exactly what Tony's saying. Exactly what he just said. Love
Mhm.
and Thunder felt like a SNL sketch that
Yeah.
ran too long.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what it felt like.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So we bashed Love and Thunder a lot. What do you guys
Mhm.
want to see from Thor 5 though? So now
I just told you.
he's an
That's exactly what I
adapted
want.
dad. Oh yeah, no, you said but what do you do about her now? Because now she's part of his story. What's the name? Love.
Just
Well,
Her
yeah,
name?
yeah.
love. So
You know,
just have her
she's
being stolen
she's a
away, snatched
deity at
away.
this point. You know,
Yeah, but have
but
her
like
snatched away from by some like the Beyonder. You need someone so powerful that is like only
that's the
Thor
thing.
can fight this person.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Beyonder is what the top 3 most powerful things ever, or the Tribunal, or something like that
Yeah.
that he has to go against.
Yeah.
Something epic,
I mean,
Yeah.
and they take her away because they say that you're not worth having her. She's too powerful to be under your care, and you're not you never even hit your own up to your own stuff. So how will you expect you to raise this girl and get
Mhm.
her to where she needs to be?
I,
Something like that. And then him have to learn who he is and become Odinson. And then you can throw in Hiddleston now, so now you can, Loki could be back in this. I mean, there's so many directions you could do with that. For him to reach his potential, we have to go back to before Endgame, before Infinity War.
Thor needs Loki. Thor needs Loki. And we found out Loki doesn't really need Thor, which is very, very interesting.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
Thor needs Loki. He needs that because when Thor is the comedy relief, it doesn't work as well when Loki is kind of the punchline or the one saying the joke or stuff. Like I don't know, it's different because they work so well together.
I felt like I
of the
said this
two
before.
characters.
He's like the Batman to his. I mean, he's the Joker to his Batman. But you can
Kind
do a
of, yeah.
Joker by himself. But
Mhm.
you need that when you're Batman and you're so serious. Sometimes you need that other counterpart.
Yeah. So, but also, like you said, you can't stop me, Thor, because I've taken away your love. But what I think will be a really, really interesting one too would be age love up, right?
Mhm.
Age her up. She's a freaking deity who says like she doesn't
It doesn't matter.
age
She
crazy.
could be 12 or 13 years old because there's
Mhm.
nothing worse than a 13-year-old girl. Trust me, I'm about to have 2 of them. There's nothing because you love them so much, and they're not going to listen to crap you got to say, and that's what it's gonna make you look like a bad parent. And then that's why you could say someone comes and takes them away from you. It doesn't even have to be a bad person. It could just be someone who's above good or bad. Like I said, the Beyonder or the Tribunal or something like that.
No one steals her. She just grows up a little bit, and now she's a 16-year-old who's a freaking deity. And what if she decides like, hey, I could do shit and you can't stop me? But now Thor has to stop her. So now it's like,
But that's
now
no
it's
villain. You can't
but
make
that's
his
not
daughter the villain.
It's not a villain. But or what if she teams up with somebody? Like when like when the movie brings in somebody to pull the kid away, and the kid kind of like super bad example. But the first thing that popped in my head was Space Jam with LeBron James.
Mhm.
Like he took his kid away and kind of fought against him, but that's a trope that's been done before. I just couldn't think of any other movie that done it, even though I know that it's been done before. Because what bad guy wouldn't want to use a deity? Even more like because she's more than a god. She's like a creator almost at this point. So I don't know. I think you can take that character and flip it on Thor, and it could make Thor really figure out like, oh shit, I do love this kid, but what do I do? You know what I mean? It's like, do I sacrifice myself? It could be a good stepping out point for Thor, possibly. I don't know.
I want him to become Thor Odin's son. I want him to have the powers of Odin.
I mean,
want
that
him
could
to
be a good reason.
Father.
The only way he can match her level is for him to become.
But fighting your daughter is never going to be a good one to bring people back together. I feel like you have to fight someone else's evil. Ask Liam Neeson. Like you have to have some type of other evil person on the outside.
I just feel like she's the problem, man. She's the problem going into Thor 5. Because if you kidnap her and she knows how to use her abilities even a little bit at this point, what are we doing? She's stronger than Thor. Like she's not probably stronger than the Beyonder.
No, the Beyonder is there's only two people.
This is Eternity.
Beyonder.
Eternity is just it's as strong as Beyonder. No, it's one of the tribunal things, but it's not the Beyonder is beyond that because he could change any warp any reality to what it is. So that's why like it's only like him, Franklin Reed, and like the one above all. That's it for those three. Like those are only the three strongest characters in all of MCU, really. And Franklin is actually probably lower than Beyond is right there, like number 2. As far as because he can warp all reality for all of that stuff. Well, so I'm looking up the Eternity. It possesses immortality, cosmic awareness, and omniscience. Omniscience. The ability to know almost everything. Additionally, it can warp reality, meaning unlimited manipulation of time, matter, magic. Lastly, the Eternity can manifest anything that existence in its respective dimension.
Yeah, but it's like honestly, the Eternity is like number 4 or 5. When you saw just type in like Google the strongest Avengers of all, the strongest MCU character, Marvel characters of all time, and Eternity would be like number 4 or 5. But guess what's number 2? Like it's like so like you can use there are other things you can use because they're looking after the entire universe overall, and they're saying you can't handle this. She's too strong for you. You can't raise her the right way, and it'll be a problem for all of us for the multiverse if she's not handled the correct way, and you can't do it because you're doing a bad job.
Yeah.
And then he has to prove himself, and then he has to become the highest level of himself. I just want him to be the Thor that we've seen. He'll be goofy Thor. I want him to become like his father Thor, but better. I want him to be that T'Challa moment where like you're wrong and I'm going to be better than you were ever. And I'm going to show you that I'm going to step into that role, and I'm going to show you that I can handle her and I can raise her. Love is going to be the greatest thing ever because I'm going to give her everything you did not give me. And I'm going to treat her differently. Like something like that would be kind of cool. Tony says Thor needs his Goku moment.
I agree.
Sorry, I was skipping out some of these comments real quick. We'll go to comments and then we'll move on to the next topic. So I wonder if this Loki will meet Thor. Interesting. That would be super, super interesting.
It would.
Yeah.
I kind of hope they do cross paths.
What if he meets a different universe's Thor? That'd be kind of like.
How will he respond? How will he respond? Oh my god! Don't give him another Hemsworth. Oh my god!
We already got the. What if the fake Hemsworth that's Thor? At the actor. What if he's a real Thor in another universe? That'll be fucking. See, that's funny. That's funny. I think, and without
that works for Loki. That works
a screaming joke. It's not a screaming goat, but it's still funny. Where you're like, oh, I get it. Like a fake Thor in this universe is a real Thor in another universe.
And then let Liam go ahead and be the Witcher, and then he goes kill them too. Just kill
oh man.
We're talking about all these directors. What we should get on that Gears of War stuff, man. I want to talk about that.
Yeah,
too.
we're talking about that.
Let's talk about that.
I think I found that. Well, real quick, Kevin Davis said Taika, good director, has produced some big hits. FX. We're doing shit at Marvel Studios or Thor Ragnarok, Thor Love and Thunder. Yeah, so he's a good director. I think he's good. I think I kind of don't want him back for Thor. He did what he did. He made one of the best versions of Thor, but I think it's time to possibly move on.
Yeah, it might be time for new blood. You know,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't hate Taika, but I think you did what you did, man, and now it's time to move on. It's time to move on. Yeah.
I hate Taika. I love Taika, but just it's not for you right now.
Yeah. I love Taika. I hate Love and Thunder.
Yeah, I love Taika. You know, I was excited for him to come back for this one, but you know, he just kind of didn't have the the sense of balance he had that Ragnarok did. You know, just kind of he. You know, sometimes when you make a good movie or movie that a lot of people like, you know, you tend to like kind of double down on things for the sequel, and that's what happened here.
I don't want us to repeat ourselves, but like literally, the thing is, never go full Taika. That's just it.
That's it.
Never go full Taika.
Yeah, and I'll leave it by saying this, and then that'll be the end of it. I know I've kind of mentioned this in the past. First 5 minutes of Love and Thunder, awesome. You know, that set a potential awesome tone for the movie. If he ran with that, with some humor here and there, it could have been awesome. It could have been up there with Ragnarok. But, you know, just unfortunately that didn't. Yeah, unfortunately that didn't happen. So, you know, we got a 2-hour Family Guy episode.
Nice.
You know.
All right, we'll leave that there. But if you're watching our replay, leave a comment. Let us know what you think about Thor 5. Did Thor 4 just mess up the continuation of this character, or can it be fixed? Should Taika be the one fixing it? I don't know. But leave a comment. Let us know what you think about Thor 4 and stuff like that. But leave a comment. Let us know. If you're watching live, stick around because we are gonna talk about another topic.